order. Roll call, please.
Are Josh Elder, Muller, Taryn Weber, Randy Nelson, Jason Marshall, Steve Carroll, Richard McKee, Gary Manning, Chad Cosgrove, Steve Williamson, Mark Cooley's online, and Candace Pesh. Absent are Barb Scott, John Cooley, Dan Wire, Julie Fleming.
She's on hold, she says, trying to get in. She's trying to get on phone, but we'll keep working with her. Okay, I just text her back. Proof of notification.
Meeting was properly notified and posted.
Okay. Agenda approval, we have a 14-point agenda. Cosgrove. Second by Manning. Discussion, none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. We have an agenda. Minutes from our December meeting. Did everybody take a chance to look at them? I did not see anything incorrect. If there are no objections, I will declare them approved as presented. Next item. Public comment. See none. Item number 7, administration, property management report, Mr. Nelson.
Well, I got 2 items. Thank Josh and everybody for the truck, snowplow truck. It's working great. Cut my time by probably over 50%.
Good.
Used to take me 3 hours or 2.5 hours with a skid steer. Now I'm doing it in 40 minutes. This lot out here and a lot across the street. Depending how much snow we get, run about an hour and 15 minutes. Get that. The only other issue we have over there is getting rid of the snow over the pile. We're gonna have to discuss how we're gonna.
So what we'll do is when you need the snow removed, just give us a call and we'll bring our loader and a dump truck over and remove said piles.
Okay, so we might as well plan for first part of next week, because with what we get tomorrow and Saturday, then I'll get that all piled up and then plan for Monday or Tuesday next week, if that works, to get that pile out of there, because we're gonna be full.
What about here? I know the city was.
City's fine with it.
Okay.
They're still piling like they always do. They bring all their snow from downtown and they pile it out here, and then they come back 3 hours later and haul it all away.
Good.
So not an issue. They're still doing the same thing as they've always done. And then, doing some more light repairs. Of course, I changed these last year, but now I'm doing all the sheriff's department side. I've done the lower floor, and today I've done almost the whole upper floor, all the offices, switching everything over to LED. So everything's been ballast all taken out and all new LEDs put in. So that's the only other projects that I've got going on right now, so.
Much nicer with them islands out of the parking lot.
Yes, a lot nicer.
I wanted to.
And I've got the sheriff's department finally convinced that they need to all park in one spot, so I can just take everything to the street. Works out good,
Good, yeah.
so. That's all I got.
Any other questions? Anybody got any questions for Mr. Nelson? Mr. Carroll?
I just wonder if we know how the snow removal is going on campus.
Are you going to Simon's?
I can handle that. So we're gonna leave Simon's on a will call basis right now. Right now they are having somebody come in there and do it. It's not costing anything. It's basically per call. So if something gets out of hand, they need help, they'll notify Candace. Candace can let us know, or she can let Tracy know to give us a call. We'll go out there, work with Randy to send the truck out or whatever.
And you drive by, Josh, the campus, are they plowing the bare minimum?
It wasn't done today yet.
Not today.
No.
Is now.
It is now. They must have just did it then, because
So
it wasn't done as of 11 o'clock. It still hadn't been done.
Yep, it was when I went at, 1:45.
Okay, so they must have went out there at noon hour and did it.
Yep.
Well, good to hear, because we had a lot of discussion about the plow truck and that position that we're trying to get passed next Tuesday at full county board, so. Anything else? Anybody else for Randy? If not, we'll go into Josh. Possible action on campus tree cleanup, wood disposal.
Okay, so I believe, last time this was asked to be on this agenda, so the question is, how do you guys wanna handle the trees at the campus? We're perfectly more than willing to go in there and clean up the trees. We're waiting for this final decision to be made. So the decision to be made is, what do you wanna do with the wood? You have to make the decision if you want if you want to auction off the wood that's there or how to dispose of it properly. You do have the right, and, from what we've done in the past, to auction off that lumber. So what we can do is we'll go in there and we'll buck up the trees into usable log lengths, for firewood or whatever. We could stockpile them and usually, probably over at the fairgrounds, and then you can do different lots, like so much wood in one pile, 2 pile, 3 pile, and then put it on, a silent bid or however you want to do it, and make it open for the county-wide, whoever wants to bid it, and then get rid of the logs that way. Otherwise, the alternative is we can do 100% removal of everything and burn it all. However you guys want to do that.
I do know when the city had them 700 trees to do, they did it, I think, in a 3-year period. And they said they actually made enough money off the wood to purchase the trees that they replanted with. So I don't think, being Ash Street, we're gonna have any problem getting this whole.
No, not for firewood, but yeah. I don't know. Richard, any comment on that? I just. No. Chatter?
Don't think we could use some parts of the parking lots down there so you didn't have so much hauling in it?
Well, our trucks have to return to the highway shop at the end of the day anyway, so we can just
Yeah.
drop them off at the fairground station there.
And that was gonna be my question, is back on the snow removal, you take that out to fairgrounds and dump it somewhere?
We can do it there, we can do it at highway, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think you dump a dump truck load somewhere and you guys just plow a wing something back, and now with this weather coming, if you get out there and let it freeze.
Right.
But that's the thing, getting it, and if we get them parking lots cleaned off, and if they ever get caught up next week with that cold weather, once that gets through, we could at least work on the dropping trees on the parking lots.
That's the biggest part, is why we haven't went in there yet, it's just not frozen enough, so with the addition of the heavy equipment, we're gonna do more damage to the parking lot, so we'd like to see it get good and frozen before we go in there, but this is the last piece of the puzzle. So what I'm hearing is you guys wanna auction off whatever usable lumber we can get out of there, firewood or however somebody wins and wants to deal with it.
Yeah, you just dump it out and they buy it as is, and what they do with it is theirs.
Okay, the only other.
They sold a lot of it to Rockbridge. Now, I'm sure the ash market's going to hell by now.
Yeah, most of those trees are too short to make
Yeah.
decent logs.
Well, not just that, if you sell right to a private individual though, or a private company, then the issue could come up, it wasn't fair. Well, that's why we need the sealed bid or whatever, give everybody a chance to bid on it.
But if we gotta advertise that, Mr. Carroll, go ahead with your.
Just what about the tops?
Right, if we gotta advertise it, and it costs us $300 to advertise it, I don't know if it will, but I mean, the shopping or the Observer, or wherever we put it, I assume we have to put it in our official paper.
Maybe the
Correct.
city did it for 3 years, we should ask them kind of how they did it, because they sure had no trouble getting rid of it.
Again, it's just an advertisement in the newspapers, all you have to do is suffice that. And then if your concern is the tops of the trees, what we would do is we would buck those trees up, so that you have usable log lengths, we delimit them. If the limbs are big enough, we'll throw them in with the bid pile, and then everything else we'll haul away in the back of dump trucks up to the land that we own up at the quarry, where we pile a lot of our brush and trees and burn it up there. We usually burn like maybe once a year to keep that down.
That's where all the stuff from the parking lot went.
Do we have a chipper? Gus?
Not big enough to do that.
Good. Any other comments on that? Mr. Cooley, you're online. Are you awake?
Yeah, everything sounds pretty good to me.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Not a problem.
I don't know, I suppose we better entertain a motion to that effect. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I would put that into a motion, that's how we handle it, and then also be advised that we're gonna shut down those areas of the parking lot for safety reasons. We're gonna put barricades up to keep people out of the immediate work zone, so just let our guys go in there and do it. They're the ones that are trained certified. We have people walking in there because they're curious, that could cause problems, so.
I make a motion to that effect.
Second.
I'll second it.
I've got Mr. Manning with the motion, second by Mr. Cosgrove. Any further discussion? The motion will be that we come up with probably a dump truck load.
Just make the motion that the highway department will handle the removal of all the trees, and then also take care of, being able to distribute usable firewood county.
And you're gonna use your number to call in or the sealed bids will come into the highway shop?
It should actually be done by the administrator, but, they can send bids to me, that's fine. We can figure that part out. when we
Yeah,
put
that's
together
fine.
advertising.
Okay, that work for everybody? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, we got the wood taken care of. Highway message boards, Mr. Elder.
This is just for the purchase of safety equipment. We're gonna look at getting a couple, the big message boards you see along the highway that flash a message or whatever. We've historically never had those, but we always have a use for them. So we're gonna buy a couple. There will be no bid process for this because their state has a contract through our main supplier, Decker Supply, for all the safety equipment. Saves us a couple $1,000s on each purchase, but the purchase does go up to about $17,000 to $18,000 a piece. So it would need a motion, just discussion possible action item to allow us to make that purchase. So I put a cap of, we do have to look at if they're gonna have wireless capability, so we can program them right from the highway shop to their computers. Probably put a cap around 22 grand a piece on the purchase, but we shouldn't get to that point. I wanna make sure we're covered.
Those are the ones, they'll be on the trailer, solar
They are
powered.
Pickup truck, and then you park them alongside the road, they go up in the air, they flash a message. We use them a lot during, construction events, obviously flooding events, so on and so forth.
Well, and Iowa County does it, if they're gonna have road closures a week, they'll put it out a week beforehand.
Correct, and that's what we do when we have access to them, but right now, every time we need one, we have to reach out to either Crawford County or go around the state, send guys out to go get them, it's just, yeah. We just as soon have our own, and last time, I think the city had an event going on, and it was the line walk, and they called us to facilitate one. I had to call Crawford, and it was just as big rigmarole just to get to one. So we just figured have it once it's the need.
Well, and even I can see them being used at the fairground, you bet.
They can be used at anywhere you want for county stuff, and then also we'll make money off them because we can charge the state every time we use them on state projects.
So there will be some
Revenue coming
in over time, and yeah, longevity. Mr. Carroll.
It sounds like equipment we need, I just want to make sure we got headspace in the budget.
So this is something I did identify when we put together the wants for like the CIP. That was an identified item that we were going to look at getting message boards.
Okay. Good. Mr. Cosgrove makes a motion to approve. We'll entertain a second by Mr. McKee. Any other discussion? Be on the board, Mr. Cooey. Time's up.
Good to me.
All right, all those in favor of approving, you're gonna go with two signboards, capped out at 22,000 apiece, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay. Got, reports.
Steve, who seconded that?
I did.
Richard McKee.
Thank you.
You caught up?
Yep.
Moving along here. It's gonna snow. Again. All right, reports. They are the bills are in here they are. Yep.
We have the administrative report first.
Okay, go for that.
Okay, so all the mowing was completed just before we had our first round of snows last week. County Road W, that is now completed. We just have a small bit of dirt left at the highway shop that we're gonna transfer down to our lower lot to kind of clean things up around there. We did send out the new Volvo Cruiser with that ProMac brushing head, mulching head on the front of it. We sent that down to the bike trail to get started. Didn't get much done, obviously, because it was only one day before the snowstorms hit. But we are gonna be working on that bike trail when we can. On the back side of that, we will also be working on tree removal at the campus and then also at the ARC recovery sites identified on the county road pole project. That one will be somewhat of a time sensitive thing. So when we finally work it out with UWM, what trees they need cleared out of those, then we will have to shift gears to get that done, weather permitting. Otherwise, as everybody knows, we're in the middle of the snow removal right now with these storms back to back. The fleet is operating at 100% capacity. We had only 2 trucks go down the last storm. One was just air tanks. That one is fixed. The other one had injectors. 3 injectors fail. That one is 95% go back together as of this afternoon and be back in the fleet. Our new Western Star, one of the new Western Stars has arrived. That was the demo model we intercepted between Universal and iState. So that one is in our shop right now. It's getting like its finishing touches, the cutting edge, the two-way radio, so on and so forth. But we anticipate that to deplete within the next month by the time we get all the paperwork processing done for it. And that should about do it. The one thing I want to make note, just keep in mind, everybody tends to get a little bit testy about these snowstorms back to back, but we go through this every single year. There's some big snowstorm that comes out and the news kind of throws out a portion. This is what we're here for. We've been through this time and time again. One way or another, we will find a way to make sure the roads get open and maintain them. Just anybody you talk to, just remind them there's 305 miles worth of road. We can't be everywhere at once, but we are out there. Our hours of operation running from 3 AM is when we first start getting the guys into the shop and get them out on the roads, and we'll run until about 9:30 PM at the latest. They do need rest. There's only 19 patrolmen on 19 routes. Everybody's running about 30 miles worth of roads, so it just takes them a little while and they need the rest just the same as everybody else, but they're doing the best they can.
We appreciate it. We do. Questions on administration? All right, into the bills.
Kind of as promised, I should say, kind of a light month, $289,567.40. The only real major ones on here is like Boundtree Medical. That's not something you guys typically see. That's because we found we had no active AEDs at our facility. So we went ahead and put an order in for 5 of them or 6 of them. Basically, one in each one of the foreman's truck and the superintendent's and the commissioner vehicle. And then we also got one for at the shop too. And we are going to be doing training with them next week of how to utilize that equipment and so on and so forth. Metal culverts, 26,700. Some of those are for the state, so it'll be a big reimbursement out of that, covering that cost. Again, SEA, short-term Elliott or short Elliott Hendrickson. That's engineering on like the county road old project, and then obviously some spillover onto like the county road and engineering and having done county road A, so on and so forth. So I mean that's the bulk of what the monthly bills are, Mr. Chair.
Josh, when will you be doing MSHA this year?
MSHA is normally run through Wisconsin County's associate or Wisconsin County Mutual. I did it a little bit differently this year. I hired Doug from 360 Solutions to come in and do our MSHA training. The reason why is because Wisconsin County Mutual does let you do it for free. The only problem is they always wait till at the start of construction season. That's 2 days that we don't get the work done. And on top of that, the training may be free, but then you got to pay the overtime because guys have to start early on in the morning, and then we also have to charge truck time because the training takes place in Platteville and then the second day in Dell. So there's quite a bit of overtime to pay out. So we're trying to get our MSHA training done in the winter months, which is part of the CPR training and the AED training. And that was scheduled for Monday, Tuesday next week, but I have backed off Monday to get things cleaned up, and we're going to reschedule. We got Tuesday solid, and then Wednesday is going to be kind of a little bit up in the air about how much training we can get done that day.
Were you doing it this year with other contractors, be able to pay to get in?
The other contractors could pay the highway department to get in, but I've already gave the specific number of people that are going to be attending with the contract that we put in place.
Jason, should we set that numbers for all of them? Says she's on hold, so the meeting hadn't started. Anybody with questions on the motion? Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
motion seconded by Mr. Carroll. Further discussion, anybody got questions on it? We have it on the floor. Looks pretty simple. One thing on them AEDs, we found that at work, they some of them have 5-year pads, some of them only have 3-year pads.
Yep, and then we made sure we had the ones with the 5-year pads on them, and then we also went right through local EMS and used their supplier to get them for us. We went through them and their recommendation.
Yep, that sometimes that plug right into their equipment.
Correct, and that's one thing that we were kind of looking at.
All right, all those in favor of approving the bills that presented signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed? All right, the bills are done. We are up to MIS. That you, Jason? She? Okay. Barb, are you on there?
Yep, can you hear me?
I can, we can.
Okay, all right. So do you want, I can't see the agenda right now, so bear with me. The director's report is, we are busy. We did get our draft back for the website. There are some changes. We're kind of contemplating just have them give us the website and let us make the changes. We're not extremely happy with what we have. We think that the departments are going to be a little frustrated. They are not going to have as much freedom as they do right now. The other things that we have, of course, radio tower project is going on. We're starting to do leases, and that is exciting because we're actually doing things moving forward to be building towers. And let's see, meeting with Sheriff's Department on other projects and just daily things. I also have an approval for a purchase on there. Jason, can you pull that up? I can't hear you guys if you're talking.
Not on the meeting.
Can't hear anything.
Is that for the jam? Barb?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah,
10,400, is that the right dollar amount?
yes.
Seeing on mine.
So this is what we use to control, the iPhones for the collecting the text messages for the county, and also to prevent them from doing things like going to sites that they shouldn't. It is necessary, but the problem is it's $10,400, so it's just over the limit that Candace can authorize. And it is a budgeted cost. We have this every single year. So I'm hoping that my committee can approve it and just say, because it was in my budget, I wouldn't have to go all the way to county board with a resolution. This is just one of those, it's $400 over the amount. And it just seems like so much extra when it's already been approved in the budget.
Okay, Barb, Candace is gonna speak.
Yeah, so anything that's a 1-year renewal is in policy that it doesn't have to go to full county board. So it's being brought obviously as a courtesy, just to let you know that, but by our policy, it doesn't have to go to full county board.
I would assume a motion in a second.
Correct.
And approve.
That would be good.
We approve that.
Mr. Carroll makes a motion to approve. Seconded by Mr. Cosgrove. Any further discussion on the purchase of the jam? Done every year, $10,400 its cost. None, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, same sign. What else you got? Anything else for us, Barb?
That's it. I'm hoping to get back. I'm driving through a blizzard.
Where are you?
I am currently in Nebraska somewhere.
Are you still going east?
Yeah, I think so. It says I am on my GPS.
Put it neutral, think of the gas you'll save. All right, future agenda item,
Sure.
item number 13. One item I thought of as I pulled in today is the parking lot across the street that was the former Gunderson Eye Clinic. Whether we could look into renting space for parking for our county there. I don't know what they're doing with it, but won't hurt to check into it. I don't know. Does anybody, well, we'll bring it up next. Anybody else? Future agenda item. We'll have an update on, hopefully on the ash trees at the campus.
Hopefully.
Good. If not, it'll be the normal stuff. And, we can ask Barb for a little bit of an update on the tower project by then. We might have. Good. All right. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain Mr. Manning. Item number 14. I will second that. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Yeah.
Who won?